video, I'll be talking about OData. OData is an open protocol for creation and consumption of web service API. The web service API can be queryable and interoperable. Now, the OData is basically a Microsoft initiative, and it was created by Microsoft, started in the year 2007. OData is ISO approved. So there's an OASIS standard that defines a set of best practices for building and consuming the RESTful API. Now, this protocol basically enables the creation and consumptions of the REST APIs. API is basically application programming interface. REST is representational state transfer. OData is not limited to relational database, but it can be used for various other types of databases as well. So OData basically helps you to focus on your business logic while building RESTful APIs. OData APIs are easy to consume, so it basically operates on the HTTP Atom per JSON using URIs to address and access the data. Now, this is a sample example how you can relate this OData in the Power Platform application. So, this is the URL. So, https your dynamic instance.crm.dynamics.com slash API slash data slash whatever is a version, and then you call the table and then you query it, and then the output you're going to get in the form of JSON, right? So similarly, you can get the table definition, you can get various things. I'm going to demonstrate that shortly. Now, the difference between OData and FetchXML is it's a query format. It's URL based. FetchXML is XML based. So you write an XML and then you get the output out of it, but you need to pass that into the FetchXML engine. OData, you can do everything in the browser. Actions, so you can do a selection, you can run the fetch XML query within an OData interface. You can order, you can do a filter, you can do a count, and you can do many other things using OData. Fetch XML, you can do a top rows, filter, order, link to entities, do an inner join, outer join, intersect. Those all operation you can perform using fetch XML. Execution, you can run fetch XML using the OData syntax. From a tools, you can do that using make.powerapps interface. So this is just one example. I'm just linking power apps with OData and then I'm showing you this example, but then there are other tools which you can use, like say Postman or other curl based interfaces through which you can execute that OData query. For Fetch XML, you have a Fetch XML builder tool, which is a part of XRM toolbox. You can use advanced filter pane and then extract the Fetch XML using the Power Apps interface. Now, I have created a GitHub repository whereby you can see all the syntax. So we can extract the top X values from the record. We can expand the query and then link from one table to another using the expand keyword. We can do a select. We can run a fetch XML query. We can use order by, filter, count, apply, equal to, contains, starts with, ends with. So those kind of things we can do from a OData syntax perspective. And these are like some of the examples how you can extract those content from the Dataverse. So the main goal is to query the Dataverse and extract contents from the Dataverse. So you can query the schema, you can query the table, you can specify the column, you can limit the records which has been returned by the OData query. So all this, let's look into the demo. So to start with, first I'll set a context. So first thing is I have a table. So I have a custom table created which is named as minerals. So if you see over here, this is the logical name of the table which I have created. So if I go inside the table, you will see some columns. Okay, so you will see the mineral name, atomic number, whether it is available or not, from a mine perspective. And also I have created a mineral app. So this is how the app will look like. Okay, so this app is a simple model driven app which lists down basically all the minerals that are currently present. Okay, so as you see over here, within a mineral, if I navigate to one of the minerals, say iron, I can see the atomic number, I can see the contact, I can see the importance, status, and then there is a lookup for another table. Okay, so these are the things which I have created. Now, this is the platform. Okay, so if I want to extract some values, how do I extract using OData, and what is the syntax for OData? So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a notepad over here, and then I will first show you one by one how to extract this value. Now, first thing, now this belongs to an environment, right? So this belongs to Girish Privy US environment, and this is the URL for this environment. So if you see this URL, this is the URL. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this URL and keep it in my notepad. So this is the URL of the environment. Okay, now how do we get list of all the tables within my environment? Now, if I go into this table, okay, for minerals, under tools I can see various things. I can get an API link to table data. I can get API link to table definition. Okay, now this particular table is located in this Girish Preview US environment. So if I navigate to the Power Platform Admin Center, so let me show you how to navigate. So you go to Admin Center and it will open Power Platform Admin Center. And then within that Power Platform Admin Center, you can extract the URL of the environment. Okay, so let it load. So once it loads, I will show you the environment. So this is a list of environment and I'm in the Girish Preview US environment. So from here, you can get the URL as well. So from here, you can get the URL, right? So org 4788F6F. Okay. So that's about extracting the information from the URL. Now, if you want to query the OData, okay, so then what you can do is you can basically construct the URL. So I have just copied this URL, which is in my notepad. Now, if you want to extract this URL and then just type in API dash data dash v 9.2. Okay, so this is we are querying the 9.2 version API. Okay, now let's see what happens. So if I just type in over here, then it is going to give me the list of all the table which is present within this OData interface within the backend Dataverse. So there is a table called as AAD users, accounts, active mappers, action cards, and there are a whole bunch of table. Now let me use a JSON viewer. So let me open, say, one of the JSON viewer. So this is one of the JSON viewer. So what I'm gonna do with this JSON viewer, I'm gonna give the output. So I'm gonna copy this entire output and give it to the JSON viewer. I'm gonna paste here, and within the viewer I can see the value. So 0th value is AAD users, and the 35th item is entity set. 30th item is entity set. So the AI plugin operation parameters, AI plugin external schemas, AI plugin conversation starters, and then 120th item is Commonwealth nations. So these are the set of tables which I have queried using this particular query. So with this statement, you can query whatever table is available within your environment. Okay. Now let's do one thing. Let's go into the table over here, and then within that table, I'm gonna copy API link to table definition. So if I just see this URL, from this URL, I'm able to extract the table definition. So the query is simple. It is whatever is there till v9.2, and then you type in entity definitions, and in the bracket you just type logical name equal to the logical name of the specific table. Now this is the logical name of the table. Now how do you get the logical name of the table? Is you go into the table, you go into the properties, and then from here you can extract the logical name. So this is the logical name of the table. So I'm going to copy the logical name and I'm going to paste it somewhere here. So this is the logical name, just to show the logical name. Now other things what we can do is against that table I will copy the set name. So this is the set name. So I'll copy the set name. I go to here and I'll just paste it. So this is the set name. So this is very much important when you are querying the OData. Now the table definition which we have seen over here, which we have executed just now. So this is the table. This is the all the table within the environment. So I'm gonna close this, and here we have executed uh, the table definition. So if I copy this in the JSON viewer, then here I can see all the representations. I can see the primary key. I can see whether I can create a chart, I can create a view, I can see the display name. So these all parameters have been uh, outputted by this particular query, right? So if I go to primary key, if I go to description, let's see, go into the description, you have a localized label, then zeroth, you will see this value, display collection name, display name, localized label, and then you get all the values. So minerals is the localized label for this. Okay, so here the query which we have executed is the logical name is CRBN of mineral. So it will give you all the properties of that table, the column name, what things you can change, what is the managed property logic name. So as you see over here, these are the things which you can extract. Now, uh, if you want to see the table data, then you can go over here and you just say API link to table data. So I'll copy this URL and I'll paste it over here. So if you want to extract the table data, you just type in API data, the plural name. So this is the set name, right? Sorry, not the plural name, the set name. So if you type in the set name, you just type in v9.2 the set name, question mark, dollar top equal to 10. So if you do that, it will give you the 10 records, the top 10 records for the table. So if I just type in, I just want to see the top one record. Okay, so I'll change the query and just type top equal to one, and it will give you the one record of that table. So if you go to JSON viewer and paste in this value and see the viewer, this is the one item which it is outputting, and this is that first item. And if you see here, the item is boron. Okay, now, if you want to have two items, then you can just say top equal to 2, and then it will give you output. Or if you want to see 5 records, just type top equal to 5, copy this JSON output, put it in your text, go to viewer, and you will see 0 to 4 items, and the fourth item name is antimony. See, antimony. Then the third item is sulfur, second item is lead, first item is barium, zeroth item is boron. So this is how you can query uh, the items within your table, right? So let me close all this tab over here. This we don't need now. Let this be there. Okay, so this is where we are writing the query. Okay, so this is stock standard. This is the URL, API data v9.2, and then the set name, and then question mark, and then your conditions, right? Like top equal to 5. So you put dollar top equal to 5. Now, what if I want to just show one column? Okay, so how do we write that query? Is we just come till the plural name question mark. Okay, so I'm just copying this. So I'll just copy this till question mark, and I will say now, I'll just make it big. If I want to just get the one column, so I'll just say select equal to the column name. Now if you want to get the column name, how do you go ahead and get the column name? Is you go over here and you just want to get this column name. I will just go to edit column, take the logical name of that column, advanced option, just copy cr1bf underscore mineral. So if I just want to query this one column, then I will go here and paste this value. Okay, so this is how you get one column output. Now let's go into the browser and then type in this. So it will give you okay, so something is wrong over here, the syntax. Now, if you see here, the syntax which we have written, we have just passed the query string, right? Now, this is not how it works. You put as a part of query string, but then you need to use a dollar symbol. So question mark and then put a dollar. So this is important. If you do not put that, you will get that error. So I'll just again copy this and now execute this, and it will give me one record. Uh, it will give you multiple record but one column. So if I just copy this output, put it in the text over here, and go to viewer, it has given me whatever record it has. So 17 records it has spit it out. And if I go to the first record, it is out item is boron, second is barium, lead, sulfur, 11th item is gold, 13th item is iron, right? So this is how you can get but one column, just one column out of it. If you want to get multiple columns, then you can go ahead and get the atomic number as well. So atomic number, what is the name of that column? Go to edit column, advanced option, see the logical name, atomic number. So I'll just copy this, and against this URL I will just put a comma and paste that value. Okay, CR1BF atomic number. So once I do that, Control C and Control V. So now I'm going to get output atomic number as well. So I'll just take the output over here, put it in the JSON viewer, text, Control V, viewer, and you will see against 0th item, I can now see the mineral name as well as the atomic number. So atomic number is 5. Here atomic number for barium is 56. So this is just made up data. Okay. So I've just got two columns, but all the record. Okay. Moving on to the next query. This time I'm gonna just say I want to order by. I want to get this all this record, but I want to order by in a descending fashion. Now the output which I'm getting is A, B, C, D to Z. That's why I'm getting boron as the first item, lead as the second item, sulfur, tin, Z. So this is all randomly random outputs, right? As you see over here. But I want to sort it by descending order. When I say sort by descending order, I want to see the Z item, right, first. So zirconium, zinc, tin, these all items should come first. Okay, so in order to do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just copy this entire query. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. I want the atomic number as well, but this time I will say I want all this output, and I'll put ampersand, so that I'm putting another query, dollar sign, order by, and which column you want to order by. So I want to call order by the first one, CR1BF underscore minerals. Okay, so this is my column, and I'll say I want it sorted by descending order. So I'll just copy this and run this query. This time I'm sorting by descending order. So descending order, it is sorted. Get the output, put it in the text, and this time the first, let me take the output, go to viewer, I think it is not sorted by descending order. So let me see the query, dollar minerals atomic number ampersand dollar order by equal to CRB of minerals descending. Now here, let me do one thing. Let me take off the atomic number from here. Okay, so let me remove that column. I will just keep one column. Okay, minerals and order by equal to CR1BF underscore minerals, and then put a space and then put a descending order. And if you see this output over here, the first output is zirconium, right? And then zinc. So what it has done, it has sorted this value by descending. So if I just put that output, go to viewer and go to value, first item is zirconium, second is zinc. So it is sorted by descending order. So this is how you can do a sort by descending order. Now, let me go into another example very quickly. So if I want to do a count, if I want to just get the count, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to write this query over here. So the same query, but this time instead of ampersand dollar over here, so this statement will give you just one column, okay, because we are just selecting one column over here. Now instead of that, I want the count. So ampersand dollar count equal to, so what I just want basically the count of that particular record set. So I'll just say count equal to true, copy this and run this. And once I do that, it should give me a count. So if I paste this in a JSON viewer, here the count is 18. So I'm getting count, and as well as I'm getting the item value, the name of that column, minerals, boron, barium, all those things, right? So I've got the output as count as well. So next one, if I want to run a fetch XML, then how do I go ahead and do that? So fetch XML, what you need to do for fetch XML is, like, if you go into say model driven app under edit filters, here you will see download fetch XML. So if I just want to see status value equal, let's say inactive, okay, I'll say apply. Now apply will give you two records, so inactive records is two. So if I go to edit filter, if I say download fetch XML, I will download that fetch XML. It will open in VS Code. So let's open in VS Code. I'll just show you the format. So if I just say format document, then this will give you the CRPF1 minerals. It will give you state code and the condition is equal to 1. So that means that if I am just giving you an output of inactive records. So for this, just what you need to do is just replace. So do a control H, find what, find the double quotes and replace it with single quotes. Okay, and you can format your output, so if you do not want the filter, if you do not want the attribute name, you can go ahead and then change that. I'm not going to make any change. I'm going to just copy this fetch XML code. So control C. Now here, how to write the syntax is, again, I'll just copy this code till here, say minerals is okay. So this is a stock standard code till here. And then in order to write the fetch XML, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pass a query string, and I'll just say fetch x is capital, fetch XML equal to, and then paste the fetch XML. Sorry, where's the fetch XML? This is the fetch XML which we just created, right? Now make sure that this is like spanning across multiple lines, right? So that we don't want. So go to your fetch XML and then just do a right click in Visual Studio Code, and you just need to minify it, right? So if I go and minify XML, so this is the minified version. So I'll just copy this minified version and paste it over here. So it will remove all the spaces. Now I will just copy this URL and paste it in the browser. So I'm writing the fetch XML, and then it has given me two rows, right? Now I'll just show you what that rows are. So 0 and 1. So this is giving me some date time. I've just put date time value as an inactive record, and it has given me that output. So what we have done, we have executed fetch XML query using OData. Okay. Now there are other things which you can perform. So if you want to do a contains, if you want to find an item which has word RON in it, okay, you can do that. So the syntax is again pretty much simple. You just copy this till minerals. So we just say select equal to minerals. So I'm gonna paste my code over here. So dollar select equal to CRP1F underscore minerals. And then you just need to put a question mark, select equal to, okay, let me do one thing. Let me go till here. Okay. So here, this is, will query the table, and then I'll put a question mark and I'll say put a dollar, and I'll say filter equal to, and then what are you going to filter? So I just want to see a record which say contains, and then you paste the column name. The column name is cr1bf underscore minerals. So which column name? So this is the column, the logical name of that name column, cr1bf underscore minerals. And I'll say I just want a keyword ron to be searched. Okay. and then I will close this query, and then I'll close this contains, and that's it. So if I just copy this and paste it, it will give me the output of the item of minerals which has RON word in it. Okay, so let's see the output. So I've got two items, so 0, so I got boron which has RON, I got strontium, so it has got ROM, and I've got iron, right? So it has given me two outputs. So I've used the contain query, right? Now similarly, if I want to use something called as starts with or ends with, I can do that. So I'm going to copy the same query over here, but instead of contains, what I'm going to do is, let me put the cursor over here. So instead of contains, I will say starts with. Okay, starts with. So if I want to see all the minerals starting with Z, okay, so I'll just say Z or Z. Okay, so it will give me that record. So I'll just say Control C and go into the browser and paste it, and it will give me the record starting with Z. So if you see the output in JSON viewer, go to text, go to viewer, and then here you will see the item, zeroth item, which is zinc and zirconium, right? So like this we can type starts with, and similarly we can use ends with as well. So that's also simple. You just go to your query and then make sure that the query which you use, so instead of starts with, you use ends with. And if I just say ends with the character n, okay, and then it will just give me the output. So run this and it will give me, it says ends with, oh okay, so there's a syntax error, so I'll just say ends with. Make sure you spell it correctly, ends with. Copy this and over here just paste in. So it will say ends with, these are the minerals, ends with that specific character which you mentioned. So let's see whether it is correct or not. See the output, and the value, it has given three items, so ends with N. So iron ends with N, silicon, tin, and boron ends with N. So this is how you can run that. And also you can do a lookup. Okay, now if you see over here, we have a lookup column, right? So let me go into the minerals again, and here if I go into one of the record, you see this is a lookup. This is looking up to one table, right? Now you can do that as well. So this is looking up to a table called as, I've just created a table called as Olympics, and then it is looking up to the contact within that Olympics record. Now you can even do that. Now I don't have time specifically to write that query, but then I have the predefined query. I have just copied it from my source, and I'll show it to you how it is spanned. So if you see here, you just put the URL as it is, minerals is, and then you specify the GUID of your specific record, and then you put a question mark, and then you say whichever column you want to select. So I want to select minerals column, and then I will expand into that particular relationship. This is a relationship, and then out of that relationship I just want the name column. So once you run that, hopefully this should run, and then it will give you the output. So this is like, I'm specifically pointing to the iron record. So if you see here, it has given me the output of iron, so iron is pointing to this particular column, poly1 underscore poly1 id. Now if you want to see what it is basically a relationship. Now if you go into the table, if you go into the relationship, here the related table, z to a, and the query which I have written is like, it is pointing to the Olympics table. Uh, so let me show you that. So the relationship name is GLT underscore CR1PF underscore Olympics. So here we are pointing to this. So it is pointing to poly1. So poly1 is the column, and we have taken this relationship. If you see the code over here, it is this one, glt underscore crvin pf underscore olympics underscore minerals, or glt and poly1 id, and then this is pointing to that particular record, and it gives you that output. So this is how you can use